Hello YouTube, Asian Trigger here again. Okay, so this is another episode of Granblue Gateway. And this is particularly going to be about Basskirk plays. Because with Basskirk I see two different options with this. You can go for field advantage or hand advantage. Now, you're thinking, what? Probably? Hand advantage? What do you mean by that? Well, let me show you. Okay, so here's one of the plays. It's my turn, I draw Dancing Cutlass. Basskirk, I have 5 damage, 8 in soul. So I take 8 out. Counterblast 5. And then from here, let's use Basskirk's effect. Now, Panda is not a Granblue, so it won't matter. So I'm just going to go ahead and retire these guys because, again, it won't matter. Let's see. Now, since I don't have that great of cards in here, let me show you what the hand advantage is first. Now, with hand advantage, you're just going to call a bunch of these Rusty Banshees. Just go ahead and call 4 of them. That needs to be in the deck. Okay, so we're going to call 4 Rusty Banshees. Now I have 6 cards in my hand. So I got 4 Rusty Banshees on the field from Basskirk's skill. Now for the hand advantage, what you pretty much do is just put all 4 in a soul. And then plus 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I have 10 cards in hand. Now this is an amazing hand advantage. But the thing is, I don't have that many triggers in my hand either, so, or any gustions. So from here, I would call a Dancing Cutlass. Soul Blast 2. So 2 of the Rusty Banshees out. Draw another card. Still at 10 cards in my hand. Call another one of these guys. Soul Blast 2. Draw another card. Now I still have 10 cards in my hand. And I got 2 open spaces. So what I would do here is call this guy. And then call Mario. So, see here. I now have 8 cards in my hand. Amazing hand advantage from when I first started. And 10 cards on field. And my whole full field advantage. And the good thing is, this is 15. So your opponent would have to guard 10k. This, your opponent would still have to guard 10k minimum, but they probably guard more than that because they probably wouldn't want you to hit this late into the game. So you drive check 2, 5 in stand, second check, night missed. So now if you look again, I now have 10 cards in my hand again. Amazing hand advantage. That is how I would usually use Basskirk if I could. And then you would swing again with him, swing again over here. That's more cards out of their hands. So now you have an amazing hand advantage. It's 10, and you just depleted their hand. So that's one of the plays with Basskirk. Now another play with Basskirk is pretty much just calling to your field for advantage. So you pretty much be calling. You pretty much would be doing. You want to do Skeleton or Mario if you can, because Skeleton would be that 10k shield for you, and it would piss your opponent off. And then you want to do it with both sides. And another thing, if you have another Mario, this is what you want your field to look like if you want just go for the field advantage. But when you choose between a field advantage like this and the hand advantage and a bunch of draws and whatnot for a great hand like this, a big hand. When you choose between one together, you have to pretty much look at the triggers in your deck. You have to think, hey, what triggers I have left in my deck? If I'm not going to draw into a trigger, then I should go ahead and do the hand advantage play. So that's the only time I would think about using the hand advantage play if I didn't have that many triggers I would draw into, because I want to check into those triggers. Now let's see what I had left in my deck. I had a bunch of triggers left still, but luckily they're all on the bottom, so that's okay. So again, if you're going to choose between this field play and this hand play, it's all situation. You have to like choose on which situation is too, and how like your deck's been going so far. Like again, keep in mind like the triggers. If you know that your deck is still stacked with triggers, you shouldn't play the Roughsea Banshee play with Basskirk, because that would pretty much make you draw into your triggers, and you want to drive check into those triggers, so you should just go with this. So pretty much it. That's another episode of Granblue Gateway with Asian Trigger and Basskirk. Peace.